Wait a minute. I streamed this morning, right? How come my thing says... Wow, that was broken. So have you ever had fire hot Cheetos? Fiery Cheetos? Fiery hot Cheetos? I don't know. They make my nose run. They make my nose run. I mean, they're not so hot that I'm like, I can't taste my food, but they're hot enough that my sinuses go, hey, time to exit. Time to clean house. It's not a lot, though. My nose is just weird. I have a weird nose. My nose never runs a lot, unless I have like a cold. But it always runs just a little bit in the mornings, and it's annoying. Okay, so current issue. So it seems that as I've gotten all my services going, the simulator, the streamer, and all the other ones, which I have to get the other two in place just to do the next thing, which I already ran into the need for both of the last two. Well, the last two I'm planning. There's a lot more, I think. Player and coach, no, not player, player and league, or when things really start to tie together, right? We start to have functionality. Full-on application functionality. Sorry, I'm eating my lunch too. I'll try not to talk too much while I'm chewing. But the current problem is, when I click on streamer game in the UI, it's polling for two teams to fill in, but it never creates the game. So when the URL, the URL that submits teams to be played comes in, it's going, hey, I got this, but I don't have a game. I don't know what to do with this. So it's like, yeah, we got it, but there's no game to submit it to. Even though there is the game, well, the call for a game is there, but there's no actual game. So that's the problem. So now I have to go fix my call. I don't even know what this is. That's not an app thing. What is auto prefixer? What? I don't even know what that is. What is auto prefixer? All right, anyway, so get token value. Oh, I'm getting a token value here? Oh, is it trying to call things from here? It should not be calling stuff from here. Pull game status, streamer key. Why am I? Yep, it's trying to create the game here. Don't do that. I have streamer data. It's like I do this a lot where I will correct the UIs. I mean, I can go do it myself, which I most certainly will go do it. But see how it's calling the API, the streamer? That's like, no, that's not how it works. Come on, AI. That's why I wish that that you can set base dates. Like if there's a piece of information that you want the AI always to use, always, no matter what chat you're working in. Like you have the, what we call it, the project, AI project info or whatever. You can tell it things like, I'm running in React.js using Next.js. My data files for this project are all in this folder. All calls to the database should go here. And, you know, that kind of thing, where you can go through and say these certain types of expectations. And you can even update it as you go. You add these lines in. And then whenever the AI, you ask a question, it would review that key pieces of information just to start. And then it reads your question. So any kind of answer it gives will be bound to those parameters that you create. Now you can create that. What I've done before is actually kind of create a question answer thing, but the problem is it's not that easy to just drop it in there. Every time I want to ask a question, I have to go back to my OneNote or whatever where I'm storing that, bring it in, drop it in, and then I have to figure out a way to I have to figure out a way to give it or put that in automatically. It'd be nice to just have it like hotkey, like add my own little. Can you do that? Like an @ hotkey? I can do @ workspace, or let's see, @ workspace, and then yeah, you can't even type anything else. There's nothing. But it'd be nice if there was a way to just always have a what is it doing? It's totally rewriting something again. Huh. Trying to figure out why are we taking this different approach. What? All right, I claimed it. I got my Taco Bell pizza. I was one of those people that was all over it second it started. $1. You don't have to sign up though. Just one more person I have to compete against. Only 30,000 people, and that's over the entire United States, all Taco Bells. So at 2 o'clock, which I guess in some places would be 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock and, you know, whatever. But as soon as it comes online, you got to hit the button, claim, and then you get the thing. But it's $1. You pay $1 plus tax. So it's like 107 or some goofy thing. But it's usually a $6 or $7 or $8 thing. And when I literally live like less than 2 miles, probably 1.25 miles from the Taco Bell. So that's my that'll be my dinner tonight, or something like it. I just have to pick it up today. Benefit of this format for the over format taken and my other data.js files in the same folder. And see if it explains to me what the benefit is. Components interact with consistent API object rather than individual functions. Namespacing prevents when you import multiple API functions. Better TypeScript support. If you later add TypeScript, which I'm not, I'm using JavaScript or just React. Huh. Huh. I tell you this. AI is always throwing new ideas at me that I didn't even know were options, which is one of the things I like about AI. Now, granted, sometimes I look at it and go, no, I don't. Go away with that nonsense. But sometimes it actually goes, and the thing is, it comes up with these ideas out of the blue. The reason I say that is because AI will kind of help me come up with something, and I'll start working on it. I structure everything a certain way. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, it goes, and then you can do this. And it writes this other piece that's basically supposed to be the same functionality. In fact, I already have it. And it goes, that's right. You know, you can do this, and it totally rewrites it, like it did here. So I had never seen this structure before. So it turns the entire file into basically a singular function. It just becomes a function. Function, what's your function? I know it's conjunction, function. No, conjunction, junction. Oh, conjunction, junction, what's your function? That's the Saturday. I know, I digress. But anyway, so it's turning them all into this API thing, which I don't know. I mean, is it really? I guess API is good because we're calling the APIs, the streamer API, for my application, which is fine. But thing is, if I do this, I feel like I need to do it to all of them. They should all be turned into APIs. And look, I've only got one. That means I have to update all my code. And it's like, I hate the idea of doing things different. But I do kind of like pull game, create game, join game. Yeah, see, I like this. I think I do like this a lot, actually. Dang. And I also like that it provides this parameter, or what the return object is. It's like it adds comments. I mean, you can add comments to any of them, I imagine. But this one decided to do it. And now I'm like, ugh, it just looks prettier. It turns it into an API call. I mean, it's just formatting, but dang. Huh. I'm tempted to turn these API things into all of this is just have them all do the same thing, because I want that. It's detail, but it's like it's a pain to put this on every single one. See, they all have their own little. This one doesn't have it. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if it'd be better to turn this air handler, turn this into an air function, or return air, or something like that. I think I might just do that. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna try this. All right, so it's a little bit different. So we got the API path. We're gonna run through. Oops, nope, cancel. Would you like to install VS Code speech extension from Microsoft? Yeah, let's do that. I'll start talking to it. I don't know. What do I have to say to it to make it start talking? I am curious what that's going to do. I mean, I probably just have to click it. But I wonder how well it'll understand me. Boy, I would make it even easier. I don't have to type. Oh, gosh. I'm going to try it right now. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. In my poll game status, I would like to change it to be a common air handler instead of just in that one, so that all of my other functions can use the same air handler. Well, the translation wasn't very good. Let's see if it figures out what I said. Create a common air handler for all your API functions and streamer data file, rather than repeating similar air handling code in each function. This is a good refactoring that will make code more dry. Don't repeat yourself. I like that. I've been using less redundant, which would be lur, but dry works good. Okay, I'm. You're gonna. Wow, that's actually good though, because instead of my having to read, the problem is when you're typing, you can get your thoughts in order and you can clean, say exactly what you need. It's a little bit harder when you're wording it, right? So you got to be. It's hard to be verbose and not leave a bunch of crap in your thought, because you're gonna have a lot of thoughts and pauses in your work if you're doing it that way. So it's a little tricky, but if you know exactly what you want. So you know what? I'm tempted to try to do this even more succinctly. Even better, how about a common API handler that'll work for all of my data.js files? Oh, did I say API handler? Darn it, I meant error handler. Creating a common API handler. Oh, no, wait, nope. This will provide consistent error handling, logging, and requests. Dang it, did I... No, wait, what? Axios, API handler. No, oh, wait. Honestly, I don't know where it's headed. I'm confused, but it might actually end up being better. Let's see what it does. Methods, endpoints, data request, handle error, build URL, generate a URL for API endpoints. Ensure endpoints start with a slash, doesn't have API prefix. Now let's refactor your streamer data to use a common. So it does have the handle error, and it's doing a build URL. And this would mean I can have my other functions do it. I don't know if I like the build URL though. Window location at origin dot includes. Hey Mia, what time do you leave?
Not till like 11:50 p.m.
Oh, okay. I did say the wrong thing, but it did put the error handle error in, which I can use on all of my other ones. I'm just let's see, what is it doing when it puts it in here? Streamer API. And then we go poll, let's see, streamer key, payload, active user, and then we just say API handler dot request. And then we just say, here's the endpoint, streamer blah, streamer create. Streamer set team. So a lot of this is pretty good. It's pretty clean. I do like that. Example, refactoring of another data.js, game plan data.js. Because see, then my error handlers... but they don't have them in here. Oh, are they getting called by method endpoint data? Oops, but it doesn't implement the error handler. There's no, oh, it says new throw error. Oh, is it wrapped? No, that's active user. And do we have any kind of an error? Okay. I don't see the error handler applied to any of the streamer data.js API calls though. Air handler. Hey, at least it's not me spelling bad. I guess I have to learn to enunciate if we're going to use it. Yeah, error. I don't see the error handler applied. Right. My previous response provided the code for the API handler, but didn't actually show it applied to your streamer data. Darn right, man. What did you do? Did you even apply it? Oddly enough, either does this code. This code doesn't apply it either. Look, none of it. The one that had it was the poll game status. Is it in here? Imports the API handler utility instead of provide the context from uses the same standard pattern. Get the join. The API handler centralizes all the error handling that was previously duplicated in each function. Now, if you need to modify how errors are handled or how requests are made, you only need to update the API handler.js file once instead of changing each function in every data file. The approach makes... Yes, but I want the error handler applied to this code. And you're not doing that. Unless there's something about how the... No, because it didn't actually apply it there. API. I still don't see the error handler applied in this streamer data.js. Let's see, what is your logic? I'm going to get so lazy. I'm not going to even type my own questions anymore. So we got handler API, API get, API post. Yeah, but that's why. Okay. Now it's not getting what I'm thinking, man. Okay, now let's update to use the API handler. It does, but it's still not putting the error handler. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the API get, crazily enough, is probably going to handle the error, right? Interesting. API get. Catch error, handle API. Wow. This really encapsulates it all. Check it out. I hope this works, because this is really slick. Look how simple these functions become. So you call the API get and API post. I don't know why. I guess one is creating the game, and then one is just doing a polling. Okay. And then join game. Post. Huh. Well, I was just thinking I was going to put a try catch and call the error handler. I just wanted it to do it. And then it went and did this. Look how simple these functions are. So if I need to put another one in, all I have to do is like check the value and call the piece, the join URL. Oh, that's cool. Look, it's going to have a build URL stream set team. I mean, it's cool because I can display it, you know, put in your team. Now I have to I got to tell people how to set the team. Actually, I think I'm going to make it simple. They can put in like team and then just put Denver or Broncos or, you know, something like that. Because there's none of the teams share the same city or the same name. Well, that's not true, right? Because there are two New York teams. Mascot, then. You can put in a mascot. But still, if you can put in the mascot, then you don't need to type in the whole thing. So you want, how many, what is like a long, what's the biggest mascot? The Chargers? That's pretty long. Eagles, Browns, Dolphins. Steelers and Chargers are probably pretty similar. Bengals, Titans. Chiefs is nothing. Raiders is probably similar. Let's see who else we got. Packers. It used to be Redskins. Commanders, that's pretty big. But most of them are pretty straightforward, right? I mean, they're all pretty small. Most mascot names are pretty tiny. Anyway, so yeah, but you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to go with the streamer data. We're going to do this thing. And yeah, I'm going to see how this works. And this one is what am I going to call this? API handler, all right? New file. I don't want to call it API handler. Data API. Sure. API handler.js. And then we will apply this using this. And we'll go here. Okay, so awesome. Now we got an air handler in there. We have, I actually kind of like this. That said, well, what is my page.jsx or streamer game? Okay, now I think we need to apply these changes to the streamer game.jsx. I do get that the appeal to talking all the time, like Iron Man does to Jarvis, but Jarvis understands what you're saying. All it is voice to text, right? It's not really listening to you. The mic is just voice to texting, which is nice for simple thoughts. But if you have a complex thought where you have to stop and pause, and because it'll only let you be quiet for like a second. If you stop to think, it's gonna lose you. So you got to make sure you have the question you have in mind down, so that so a big thought where you're doing like 6 or 7 lines of data of talking, it's probably gonna pause. You're gonna pause at some point, and it's going to give you stuff you don't want, or not give you it's not gonna respond to your full question. Function to copy join URL to clipboard. Function to copy join URL to clipboard. I'm not sure what this join URL is going to be, but we'll worry about that in time. Okay, so that means I have to have the streamer API is going to come in. We got streamer game, and we're going to have streamer API. All right, let's do that. Streamer data. No, not streamer data, streamer game. There's a lot more going on, but we do a lot more things. Now we got to initialize the game, set the game. First, create a streamer game, blah. If game responsible to success, game created, blah, 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 blah. Else, failed to create game, blah, blah, blah. Ah, yes, the next big thing. I keep saying the next big thing is to add unit testing to my code. It's like, I have not done it. I have been so bad. I keep wanting to just make things work first, and then I come back later, but I got to stop doing that. At some point, it's got to be there, because what's going to happen is when I get nearer and nearer and nearer, nearer to release, or to even releasing anything, I want to try to keep that functionality always working. So I need to have unit test, automated unit testing wrapping around any functionality that's available to the public. So those things always need to work. So I can't deploy if I break those items. So I got to make sure I put wrappers on anything that would be publicly accessible, which should at some point it's going to be everything, right? So I got to make sure that I'm building things to consider that option. So, all right. So where are we? Do we still have this working? Is this running? No, it can't be working. Can't be running. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong thing. File. I need a save all. Let's do a save all. What is this? Streamer? Which one do I want? Hmm. 16 problems in this file. It's the what's the answer? Use your use your changes and overwrite file contents. All right. Well. Yeah, we'll just leave that for now. Okay. Let's see here. I got to stop streamer. And then I got to restart streamer. So, oops. cd pffm go.ms/streamer go build dot. Make sure I didn't break anything with that little maneuver of mine. All right, we're good. Go run dot. All right, so we're back up. Let's go back over here. And then we're going to say, what, continue? I didn't even know that was up and running. Why was that running? Why were you running? All right, so we got to break this. Go build dot. Nope. npm run build. Ah, the commands, they're different for everywhere you're at. All right, so we got Webpack blowing up and streamer JS module not found. Can't resolve utils API handler. Utils? Utils? What do you think it's at utils? Oh, it's not utils. That's in API handler is going to be in the data folder because, yeah. Because the API handler, I mean, it's data APIs, and I'm only doing data APIs, and they're all going to be in the data folders. I mean, nothing else is going to use it unless I decide to put APIs for other things. But they're all calling back to the services, and I'm going to put them all in the same place. So, I mean, I do have this. What is this? Auth? OAuth? Oh, this is for other APIs, Google API. But I'm not using it for that. That's something different. I probably should use it for that, but nah. Nah, I don't want to do that. Let's see. All right. Oh, wait, are these bugs? Nope, they're not bugs. Okay, so I should probably get rid of these image problems. Warning, warning, warning. Okay. React hook use effect has a missing dependency. Game state. Either include it. Yeah, it might not work. Why do we have streamer key here? Doesn't even pass the streamer key. And to be honest, streamer key is gonna be changed. I gotta deal with that at some point. Streamer key is not the user ID. Right now it's the user ID, and that's what everything's referencing it. But ultimately what I want to do is add a field to the user data and create a streamer key for streamers. They can regenerate it, create a new one. I want to have something that'll generate a streamer key and the functionality to reset the streamer key. But I also need to have, but I don't want it to be user ID. It's too basic. So I want to be able to reference by a key that's something else. I need it to be more complex. Maybe, I don't know about a full-on GUID, but it needs to be something pretty complex. I forgot what is like Restream uses. I mean, anything that's like 16 to 20 characters would be pretty good, but I don't know. Did that start running? Fully did not expect that to just simply go. What is this here? Error request. What is that? Streamergame.jsx. Don't know what that is. Streamerdata.js. Alright, well, let's pull. Let's clear that. I don't know what that's going to be, but let's open up fresh, shall we? Alright. There. 10 errors. Whoa! We just exploded all over the place. Request failed with status 404. Async streamer game use effect initialized game. Huh. API handler. What is the problem? Error in post. Streamer create. Request failed with status code 404. Alrighty. It's kind of interesting. Where is that at? Huh. Weird. Okay, so we got streamer game data, streamer data.jss. Get game, create game. Very simplistic, man. Error in operation. Error operation equals. All right. This could be a problem because it's not very descriptive, but we are in the API handler when we get here, which is right here. We are successfully making it this far, but something is blowing up in our face. Makes a GET request with error handling. And this one's doing streamer create, endpoint, blah, blah. All right, well, where are we? Let's put a break on here. Game status. That's fine, whatever. Oh, interesting. You know, we didn't even go to the login screen and that. Oh, there it goes. All right, so we get to this. But then we have 10 bajillion errors. You are going to be annoying, aren't you? It's not going to let me. It's not going to let me copy this. Oh, there it goes. I tend to prefer to do this over here because it can look at more of the information. Boo. Let's get all that. What did I get? Oh, no. Get a lot of code and what do you get? "30 seconds older and something to fret." That's a new song, man. Write a lot of code and what do you get? an hour and a half older and something to fret. It's like you're like trying too hard, man. You're just trying too hard. Just back up, deep breaths, and think twice about going down that road. While you have registered several API routes, there's no registration for the streamer create endpoint that's required for the streamer game creation endpoint. What? Add this function. No, there's a create game already. I know there's a. Oh wait. I noticed that while you have registered several API routes, there's no registration for the create. Yes, there is. It's probably just called wrong. There is a create. I know there's a create. I know there is. I know there's a create. Create client. Create game. All right, so there is actually a create game. It is in the simulator service. I don't necessarily want to be creating things in two places. Your front end is calling streamer create via the streamer function. Your simulator service implements create game, not in streamer service. The gateway is likely not routing streamer create to the simulator service properly. You need to add a route in your gateway service to forward API streamer create requests to simulator services create game method. That's what you need to do. So I need to change it to gateway streamer.go file. What? Oh. Additionally, make sure your gateway's main.go correctly passes both client connections to streamer routes registration. Create streamer game handler. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Wow, I got a lot of weird errors here. Look at all those 9s. What the heck, man? I mean, things are running, but something's going on that's funky here. I gotta check in some crap. I've really gone down the. It's not really gone down the rabbit hole. This has just turned into a big. I knew it was going to be a big meaty thing when I started it. I'm just surprised. Actually, I'm surprised at how much I've gotten done in this sprint. When I realize now how big a chunk of meat I tore off on this one. Getting it chewed down in time for the end of the week is going to be interesting. I feel like I'm fairly close, but all right. So we got a streamer.go. All right, so we're going to handle register streamer routes. I don't have one for create. Set team, start, reset, buffer, pending. Holy moly, I don't have one for create. How do I not have one for create? So I don't have a game creation or a way to implement. And then add this handler function. Add this handler function. Create streamer game handler. Reset, buffer, get, set by team. Wow, get game stat. Wow, I really do not have that. I am so So confused as to how I managed to avoid putting that in there. There's so many things. I know I complain a lot about this, but there are so many freaking things. All the bits and parts that you've got to put in just for one function to work. Additionally, make sure your gateway's main.go correctly passes both client. Oh yeah, let's go to my main.go. Set up your main.go. Create client. Streamer client, simulator client. Do I have both of those? That should. Make sure gateway's main.go correctly passes both client connections to the streamer routes registration. Oh. Streamer, I may not have that. StreamerCon? Connect to streamer service. Yeah, it's StreamerCon here. Did you look at my stuff before you started wigging it out? Wait. Air common create client. New client, new client, new client. Setup. Oh, this isn't even setup routes. Where the heck is setup routes? Huh? In your main or setup routes function. Your gateways may not go clearly past both client connections to streamer routes registration. Take a look at my gateway main.go and then tell me how you want that to be updated or how it should be updated. Well, because it's talking about create client and other stuff, and you can see I don't actually have. Is it defined here? Maybe that's the problem. Create client's probably over here. No, these are the handler functions. No, main.go. It's right here, but there's no. This is done differently, so I want to make sure that we're doing it in the same format. I have a feeling it's something over here, but it's possible it's not even here. I don't? What do I have? Gateway, auth, game plan, playbook, streamer. No, I don't have a simulator. I don't have coach there either. I'll probably get, I keep thinking, I'm trying to remember if I'm going to need coach. I'm definitely going to need leagues, and I'm going to need players. Both of those are going to need to be called. But neither one of those is fully implemented yet, so I can't really put those in yet. Is this still typing? Clients are initialized. Register streamer routes passing simulator client 2. Okay, so this one's going to have both. But the simulator doesn't get called on its own, which it probably won't. Not for the streamer. Eventually, streamer. I think the simulator is going to eventually get called directly, because there's going to be points at which you're interacting. Yeah, because the system's going to have to keep calling it. You're going to get stuff back, and you're going to be able to interact, especially if you're doing your own play calling. Although, there's a chance I could maybe use the URL functionality, kind of, sort of. Maybe that's a post. Don't know. Update the register streamer routes function signature in streamer.go. Streamer.go. What is it? API streamer create. Register streamer routes. Register streamer routes is router handler func. Set team. Reset. Start game handler. Start game handler. Huh. You know what? I just noticed that my streamer.go has a handler for start, streamer start. How is that different from the create game that we're implementing? Creates a new game session in the database when it's used. When a streamer initiates a new streaming session, status after creation, game is created with status waiting for teams to join. Endpoint, implementation calls, which creates an entry in the database. Begins the actual gameplay after teams have joined. When it's used, after teams have joined and the game is ready to begin, status changes. Status change changes game status from ready to active. API streamer start implementation calls streamer client start game, which updates the existing game status. Prerequisite: game must already exist and typically have at least one team joined. Not sure that's how I want to do this. I will be back shortly. I gotta take a quick break. Okay. Guess these do serve different purposes. I'm not totally sure that's how I'm going to execute the start game, but for the purposes of the streamer game, that might work. And I may not call it from this point, but we'll call it. So yeah, well, I guess it's not actually started the game. So create game, start game are slightly different. Okay. Add this function. Wait, what do I need? So I created the add create streamer game handler. I don't think I created create. It says there's two. Do I have the second one? I do. It's right here. Is that the one I want? Is it different? Slightly. We got request, enable cars. All right. All right, so we've got, I think we've got all the parts in here now. Hopefully, McHopefullys, we're going to get all these parts going here. Here we are. Okay, so we will now see if I can start the streamer service again. Or restart it. And we'll go go build dot go run dot. Gateway probably needs to be pulled down too. Shh, quiet. Shh. Stop it. Go build dot. Oops, nope. CD space PFFM. PFFM go MS. Oops. / gateway. Go run. Go build dot. And go run dot. Okay, so now we're back up and running. Gotta let my dog out. She's gotta go say hi to my wife. Heaven forbid should she not be able to say hello the second she comes in the door. She's a goonball. Okay. Well, that's not gonna work. I'll take it back, take it on. I got my 59 errors. And then I gotta go back over here. Do I have anything that's breaking? Nothing's breaking, like break pointing. So we'll go back here. We'll say streamer game. But we blew up with 10 more errors right out the gate. All right, it's a different error. I don't know if that's good. But we got through. Request failed with a 500, which means something on the other end blew up. Similar create game, unimplemented description. Method create game not implemented. What? What? So now we gotta go up and down. What do you mean I don't have? So basically, I implemented stuff, but we do have a create game, but it didn't actually call the create game handler, which is in the service. I know create game exists. Simulator create game. Simulator. I know it's here. Oh, you know what? It's probably not in the I bet you it's not in the HDCP handler. Common game plan gateway. Man, there's a lot of. What is it with all this stuff? See, there it is. Create game. Problem here is you're showing a function you're using simulate client directly when registering the streamer create route. Yeah. But simulate your client isn't defined in this scope. It's only defined in your main.go as a global variable. Additional when the create streamer game handler function is called, it makes it call to create game. While it should be using client create game, the client parameter is of type simulator. Create game method. It has a method. The solution, here's how to fix it. Modify the register streamer routes function signature in streamer.go. Change it to accept both clients. Okay, so we gotta go in where? Streamer.go. Thought I did that. I feel like so many bits and parts everywhere. It's everywhere. More and more just stuff. Everywhere we go. Streamer.go. Everywhere we go, streamer go. Alright, so this is the call to streamer create, which is probably towards the bottom. And this one has streamer create, handler func, arm method post, create streamer game handler simulator client. Not using simulator client. No, using simulator client, not streamer client. For the create endpoint, explicitly use simulator client. Response request. Update the call in main.go to pass both clients. Create streamer game handler. The issue is that you need to make sure your gRPC handler actually implements this method. Okay, so let's go look at the simulator ham. Do I have this? Alright, so we got to go to the simulator and gRPC handler. Create game. Aha, there's no create game here. That could probably be it. Because I don't think these other problems. Create streamer game handler in the error indicates that your create game, but according to your protobuf definition, the method should be. The error indicates that you're calling create game on a similar service client. According to your protobuf definition, the method should be create streamer game handler. Fix create stream game handler function to use the correct method. Gateway streamer.go. Gateway streamer.go. Create stream game handler. Create streamer game handler. All right. RESP client, create game, context, background, rec. Response writer request. Call center service with the correct method. Error. I was indeed missing item number 2, but I don't see any difference between your item number 1 and item number 3 because they look exactly the same as my code. Alright, so while it figures that out. One, two, three. The issue is to make sure you ever see it. So that's key. Update the main.go to pass both clients. Yeah, and I think that's already doing that too. So I think we're good. See, it's passing simulator client here as well. Now I don't know what happens when you change code mid run like this. I do see that it's having a problem with the simulator client though, right here. It doesn't like it. Is there a... Oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong up here. What's my RESP? Create streamer client. Huh. I'm not seeing that simulator. Streamer. Huh. I don't see the variation here. All right, register streamer routes, which is there. It does now. It says it doesn't exist, but it exists now. Streamer create. I already did that. So this is like getting to be huge. This is going to be a pretty robust. As the AI puts it, it's going to be extensive code base. I've now passed into the extensive code base range. Change function signature. Change this line. Register streamer routes. Streamer.go. I don't, how is that different? Change this line. Register streamer routes. Func, register streamer routes. Oh wait. You mean like this line? Streamer service client. Register streamer routes. Oh, it's got both. Oh. That's important. Then in your main.go, update the call to pass both clients. In main.go, change this. Register stream runs. I think I already did this though. I thought I did. Or maybe I didn't. Oh, there's so many things. Register. No, I have that router streamer client. I knew I had some. I knew I had that streamer client, singular client. That was just having an error. Okay. Seems like most of my problem was in fact that, but let's make sure I save everything. Okay. We're gonna go build dot. It's gonna build. Gonna be happy. It's gonna be happy. Go run dot. Now I have to go over to simulator. Kill it again. Holy moly. It's gonna be crazy, man. When I'm trying to get things going, I'm gonna have to be like, okay, maintenance downtime, because we bring it all back up again. I definitely understand why these companies have to do maintenance downtimes, because you change a bunch of code. Kind of half expected my wife to want to play some pickleball today, but I'm not hearing hide nor hair from her, so maybe not so much. Maybe not. Okay, let's see, where are we? Let's run this back to here. 181 errors. That is getting some serious error time. Yeah, we blew up already. What is the error now? 500. Output. Simulator called. All right. How about streamer? Game status called. Somebody's erroring. Oh, here we go. Streamer to go. Error calling simulator create game. Unknown description failed to save new game. Right exception. Right error. Performing an update on the path ID would modify the immutable field ID. Well, we got a problem. We are trying to write to an immutable field. Huh. Why are we writing to immutable field? So, create game is doing a naughty. Don't do that. Don't do that thing. So at least now it's trying to create the game because it's trying to write it. Who would have thunk? Let's take a look at the save game state implementation. Let's do that. Let's go over to simulator. Nope, not leagues. I got that's next week. I'm gonna get the service for leagues and players going. I just might as well. I mean, I'm that close. It's the last. I think they're the last two services that I have to actually create. Now, what functionalities they're going to have at this point? Probably not much because I don't have any players in the system yet. But yeah, one thing at a time. We'll eventually have those. You could have leagues, I guess, with just the teams. But again, they'd be generating a bunch of random crap. All right, so we're in the simulator. We got to go save game state. Save game state. And we got to go actually to the save game state. Must be in the store.go. There it is. The problem is that your save game state function is hard-coded to always update a document with ID current game. No, but your create game function is creating a game with UUID as the ID. Oh, I don't want it to do that. Solution: you need to modify your save game state function to use the ID from the game state object. So you might want to create a separate create game state function that specifically handles new games. Create game state inserts a new game state into the database. Wait, don't I have a new game? Oh my gosh! It's a, you need another thing. Like what? Why do I need another thing for? And then modify or create game service method to use this instead. If you want a quicker fix without changing the interface, you could modify the save game state to detect when a new game is being created. Check if this is the default. Check if this is the default current game case. Alright, so I think I've got to redirect this. Okay, so the logic should simply be game state is not created until we start a game. I think what we need is to have it set up where we create a game. And game state is not actually created until we actually start a game. So there shouldn't even be a game state until we start a game. But I don't want, I mean, we got to have a finite flow here. I don't want to be going and creating all these other objects. It's like we're creating a streamer game. Streamer game creates a game. The game exists. Now, it may or may not ever get called. It's never going to, if anything, it might be a game status of pending, but the issue is that your save game state function is trying to handle both concerns, which is causing the conflict with the ID field. Let's refactor your code to handle these separately. Game session management, game state management. I feel like I'm really trying to be. What's up, babe? Hi.
Did you talk about him, did it?
I did.
Oh yeah, what was it?
I haven't picked it up, but I got it. It's the taco pizza, the pizza one. Yeah.
Those are really popular at first.
Yeah, they're not too bad. So how you feeling today? Did you make it through the day?
Yeah.
Tuesday?
Tuesdays are awful. The kids are tired. We're tired. sickness is going around again. People are dropping like flies. They're coming to school sick and just keep passing it.
Well, don't get sick.
I don't
Oh, you don't get sick. Yeah, no, never.
feel well. Well, nope, we're going upstairs. Yeah.
I thought you might want to play pickleball today. It's kind of cool, but
It is I kind of do. Is the court dry in there? I mean,
oh, you mean like out on ours? I don't know. I haven't looked at ours. I guess that it's cold enough that there's probably a puddle. We probably should have to push it off, and then who knows what it'd be like out there.
It is a little chilly, but once you get going.
Yeah, we'd have to wear maybe a long sleeve shirt or something. I got a lot of stuff over there. Functionally, there's an issue with my trying to create too many pieces. So we got create game session, update game session, save game state, get game state, initialize game state. And then there's what, game status? Man.
Yeah, there's the usual huddle up, here, but.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to play on that spot. We have to push all the water off and give it a day to dry, and it would have to stay dry.
It'll rain again.
I think it's supposed to, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm trying to avoid continually creating things that feel like they're all doing the same thing. It should be a pretty simple flow. Okay, streamer creates a game. You go to this page, it creates a game, which it will have a status. All right, a status value. Game state, game. I don't even think, does streamer even have a game? Game command? Game command represent a command issued by a user that should be picked up by another service. Oh, no, that's not it. I think game state is a state that we're passing back and forth between. I hate to do it, but I think I might need to do some restructuring. Because I think there should be a game. I mean, what is this thing doing? It's like, all right, so we have a game, and then there should be a status. Where is all this being stored? Player log. Game session state. Represents the current state of a game session. See, and then it has things like its own game state, which are not my game state, I don't think. My game state is this thing. Game session state is not. Man. The game session state it just feels like it's overcomplicated. And I don't like it. It's like, why is it even an object? I feel like, all right, let me type this out. I feel like this is getting more complicated than it needs to be. Perhaps some refactoring is in order. Now, the first thing that should be happen when, okay, so this is what I envision. Streamer game is selected on the front end. A request to create game is sent to streamer service. Streamer service tells simulator service to create a game, which would be an object in the database. That object, it would be, alright, would be a document in the MongoDB. That document contains a game status. Pending start, pending starting, in progress, complete. Completed. Document contains a game status field. During the pending state, game status, the UI will be polling the streamer service for teams to use in the game. And the streamer service will be listening for the URL to set the teams, or waiting for the time limit to expire prior to auto setting the teams. Which, by the way, should have already been set because we've long since gone over the 5-minute auto time. When the teams are set, the UI will call the simulator component with the provided team names. Simulator go sim game .jsx to provide a team IDs with the team IDs associated to the provided teams. At that point, UI will begin, will start game with the game ID associated to this streamer game created. And the simulator UI. At that point, the streamer service will begin listening to the commands here to be defined. That the coach will rest. The coach service will rest when called for play. This is very much like what we have, but I feel like we have too many state statuses, starts, etc. And there is some redundancy. I think can be cleaned up or streamlined. Okay, so this is probably going to take the UI or the AI about 2 months to figure out what I just said. Because what it's going to have to do, I mean, theoretically, it reads everything I said, right? And then it has to go look at my code. And then it has to go, oh, okay, well, we have all this crap. created, teams joining, ready, active, completed. Created, game document created, no documents, no teams joined yet. Teams joining. At least one team is joined, waiting for more. Yeah. So of course the system thinks it's better. I don't think those are very standard. I like the pending because it's not a game yet, right? I can see waiting, I suppose. But pending, it's not a game until you have two teams. Right? It's a game in a wait state. It's pending, it's not a game. Once we have a game, I think we're good to go. So maybe pending, ready, in progress, and completed. Yeah, I'll probably change it, but okay, that doesn't matter. I'm not worried about that. Direct service responsibilities. Front end, streamer game. We don't need 5 statuses. I don't think there's a need for 5 statuses. You know, it's either in progress. It's either pending, a game that's getting created, or it's in progress, or it's ready, which is just a state that lets the system know that, hey, we can go ahead and start this game. And then it starts and it's in progress. Then it's completed because that's the only other option. It's in progress even if the game gets killed, and then somebody can come back later and start it up again if it's in progress. But if it's pending, it'll just delete it. Any game that terminates or in some way doesn't finish should just get terminated or deleted. We should have no, because, well, no, that's not true. Streamer games, which on its own, there are game types. Yeah, I think there's game types. Yeah. Direct service responsibilities. Front end handles UI, user interactions, and polling. Streamer service manages game creation, team joining, and game state transitions. Handles actual game simulation state. Simplified flow. User selects streamer game in UI. Front end calls streamer create. Streamer service creates game. Call simulator.create game. Create MongoDB document with status created. Returns game ID and streamer key. Front end pulls game status. Viewers join via URL. Streamer service processing. Streamer service processes join requests. Update game document. Status changes to teams joining. After first team, status changes to ready when all teams joined. When ready, show start game button. Do I want to start game button? I'd like it to just start the game. But I can worry about that later. That's minor. Start game, whatever. Ready is just the same as my solution of starting. But to me, it's like if you're ready is like a stop. I'm ready. I'm just going to sit here. I'm not doing nothing. Starting means I'm doing something. I'm transitioning to the next state of the game. Whereas just being ready just means, hey, let me know what the next steps are. I'm done, you know. I feel like it should always be in a state of it's doing something until it's completed. It's pending, which means we're waiting for something specific. Then there's ready, which is not right. It's in our starting. We're either pending, starting, in progress, 3 action states followed by completed state. If we're there's no other state. We should not ever be in a stop state. Created as a stop state means nothing. It's like, again, it's been created. Okay, but is it doing something? Is there any state going on? Pending means something's happening. It's pending some result, some action. Created just means, yeah, we created a game, but whatever. What I'd like to do is actually have the system purge itself of any games that are stuck. We shouldn't be creating game states that never get completed. It's okay to have a game that's in progress get stuck. We can come back to those and offer them up at some point. Maybe if you come back within an hour, it'll start the same game up. Or you come back, within a certain period of time. Otherwise, any other game just gets killed, because if it's in pending or starting states, it never happened. The game never actually started, so dump those. Completed games don't have any purpose in life, because we're not keeping that information. Yeah, so anyway. All right, so session state represents the state of a game session. Game session. Game session. A game session feels temporary, which is fine for a streamer game mostly. But I don't know if I like that. And it's pretty much using what I have. Let's see what else we got. Simplify the streamer service. Create game simplifies to just delegating to simulator. Update the front end. Consistent API in streamerdata.js. Right. Well, it doesn't really change this. I don't think this is different. ID, status, creator ID, game type, streamer key, it's game 1, game 2, game state. Okay. But we're not using his thing. I don't like it. Plus it has 5. It doesn't need to be. It's pending, as in we don't have an existing game yet. It's not existing. Then we have ready, or rather starting, which means we're moving on to we're going through that transition from pending to actually getting ready to kick off the game. We have in progress. As in the game's running. And no, it's completed. The game is completed. I don't know why. To me, a completed game is different. I mean, it's the same as finished game, but I don't know. Games are completed. Games are not finished. I don't know. Finish just sounds like the wrong term for a game. All right. Now, so we need to take this. We're going to go to create game in the streamer service. Hold on, I got to deal with this. I've been trying to kill all these things as much as possible. What is it? I don't remember what the name was. Streamer? Is it stream.boo or streamer.boo? Oh, it's streamboo.com. Whoops. Streamboo.com. You would think Twitch could do something about that. I don't know. It's annoying, but what can you do, man? All right. Except, I mean, what you can do is report it, which is what I'm doing. But, all right, so we're going to go here. I'm going to copy this. Streamer service. Let's create game. I don't know how different this is. Context, game error. Get simulator failed. Stream key. Simulator, create game request, user ID, streamer, stream key, Unix, user created, waiting. Pending. But and then update the front end. Initializing. Really didn't change anything there, did I? Success. Blah blah. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. What's missing? Streamer key. Oops. All right, it is doing something different. So we got created app, blah now, streamer key, streamer rec, user ID, create user. For whatever reason, it's pulling from there now. Oh, because it's not passing it in anymore. And then we have to put this guy. Game ID message and success. Game ID. All right. I think we are back on track. Okay, so we got that created. Why does the front end need the streamer key? No, the front end doesn't need this streamer key. Front end's already got the streamer key. On step 2, you say streamer key is important to return this to front end. That's not true. On the front end, it already has the user ID and the streamer key. And I, I state that like there's two. I might confuse the AI. So it revised it by changing the comment, but doesn't actually doesn't actually get rid of it. Thanks, AI. That's helpful. All right. Well, I guess we didn't really make a whole lot of headway. I still feel like there's things that should have been removed, but I'm not sure how. Yeah, I'm not totally sure how that's gonna, if we actually reduced anything. I think I may have to have some toggle points, comments, things that are tracking each service call, so I can kind of see when services are called, how frequently they're called, if I can't, kind of track what's happening and at what points. Because I feel like there's going to be things on here. I've changed directions enough times where new things are created but not always removed. So as a result, I think I sometimes end up with stuff that's a little, I don't want to say it, but spaghetti, orphaned. No, I hate that term. I'm one of those people who keep looking at it going, is this ever called? And I will remove it. I will check it. I will take it out of my call process. But I need to make sure, I need to set up a log trace of a call. Like, UI did X, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. UI did this, blah, 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 blah. And then I can have these endpoints that call into the service and what's happening. And then I can trace what's not being executed here, and I can just look for it. I would like to have a system log of some kind, if that's even possible. It probably is. I'd have to put something in every single function that I can toggle with like a setting and say, you know, create a trace log of things. And then I just put it at the beginning of every single call, and I would say log trace or whatever. Probably be a shared component. And at the beginning of basically every single procedure, I put a trace in. And then I can just kind of look at my code and see when is this item being called. And if it gets called frequently, I could remove the trace because I know it's something. But this way I can see what's happening at every point. You know, we get to here, blah, we get to here, blah, we get to here, blah, we get to here, blah. And then I can kind of go, oh, all right, so we call it. So it would be annoying to put them all in, but it would be so nice to be able to look at it and go, I've got function create game calls blah, calls blah, calls blah, calls blah. And then everything, the trace will just basically log what was called. And every time it gets called, it just says executed, 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 executed. And this way I always have some kind of a tracing process of what's happening. I think I may have to do that when I start doing my OneNote or my it's going to be a big thing, but I feel like it's necessary to have a trace. And I need to be able to turn it on and off because I don't want unnecessary logging, but I'll turn it on when I'm like, okay. I might even have to put something like I used to have a in my old code at the company I was at before, I would what was the functionality? I had a database setting that I could either say all or I could say specifically what I wanted. So I could say log create game, for example, like the one on here. And every time create game was called, they would have a check at the beginning and go, oh, does this match the log requirement? So it would go log, hey, create game is you know, then it would just say set trace or set log. Then every time a log message was executed on that thing, I could just turn it on and off. Be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I could just either have it logged that it got called if there's no other log messages, but all the other log messages wouldn't just be logged. They would all be under the condition of trace or log trace. This way, if I need to see what's going on with a particular function without actually going in and putting in a bunch of other code and doing things like that, I would just be able to flip it on, say log this. Now, if I wanted to do multiples, I would just do 1, 2. I just add items, or I could just say all and just have it start tracing the system call. Now, you got to make sure you turn that off because that would be a lot of logging. But I've done that, and I had that built into my system before. It became so useful. It was so nice to be able to see it just tell me exactly what was happening, and then I could turn it off to prevent excessive logging. But it was nice for figuring out what's happening in the system, and then I would just go into I would have a log, what do you call it, a trace log or whatever. It'd be basically a logging table that just can keep track of everything. When errors happen, every time something would happen, it would just go to the system. Now, I may have to implement all that stuff at some point, which is probably all part of like my infrastructure stuff, which I've been neglecting. All right, so Where are we with my current situation here? Alright, so we got the same problem here. Now that said, I have to go all the way back up to wherever I was before we started talking about rewriting code. Is this the one that was? Save game state. Specification simulator store.go. Game session state. But your create game function is creating a game with the UID as the ID. Saved state. Game session state. See, streamer types. It's this one. All right, so this is our state. All right, so we're going to say, even if I call it game session, I don't know if I like that, but I guess that's okay. Game session. Just, why not just game? And the state that the game is in. It just feels like, why does it have to be a game session? I know, I get so caught up on things. Oh God, it just doesn't, I don't know. A game is a solid item in a different state of existence, right? It's a game, it's going, but it's not just a session. I mean, yeah, I guess it can be a game session, but why does it have to be game session state? Why not just game session? It's in different things going on, right? A game session, why is it state? It's not just about the state, right? Because we store information about it. Yeah, it does have a lot of, it does keep a state. Streamer. League. Head to head. Quick play. What is when they, in college football, for example, they have don't they have like tournaments in football? Like they like a conference championship, or yeah, maybe they don't. Maybe it's just the playoffs. But I always thought that they had like a. I mean, the thing is, we can do that, right? Because you guys aren't really getting hurt. Tournament. I'll say tournament. Those are basically the only types of games I think we'll ever have. The streamer key, which is also, what is a creator ID? Creator ID and the streamer key. What the heck is that? I mean, is that the user ID? What is a creator ID? We have the streamer, who's the one creating the game. But you might not be streaming. I get it. That's the streamer key that creates it, that binds us to whatever. And then the creator is the user ID of the person who created the game. What does this result mean? Oh, that's mine. Description. Move. Level of success indicating how players react to results. I don't know how to spell route, so I gotta go find this everywhere. Where am I at? Really? That's the only place I have route action result? That's probably because I'm not using it yet. That means I only have to replace it in one spot, I guess. Player log will be to record all the individual stats for game state and stats affecting equals true. For game state dot stats affecting equals true. Okay. There's gonna be so many things in that player log. Player log's gonna be huge. It's gotta have a lot more than that too. It's going to have like the route action result. Because there's certain values that are going to get accumulated throughout. So all right, so play progress log. Read only struct will need to be seeded in database. So do I put the type in here? No, I think the player log will have a route action result type, and then the play progress log will have the route action result. Well, we're getting there. All right, so that fixed that. We still have to fix this. And I'm not sure. Can I save game state? Saves the current game state to the database. See, there should be no saving game state. Why are we saving game state? We don't have a game state. What are we talking about here? There's no game yet. Game state is game state starts when we have a game, and I don't know what this is. So we have create game, game session state, simulations update 1. What the heck is simulations update 1? All right. Because game state is only when the game starts. That's what that's supposed to be. The game has not started yet. We don't have a game. there's no game state. We have one thing. We have a session state, but that would be save game session state. This is why it's too much crap. There's more to it than just the state of it. Because it's not just about the state. Created a game state. And that's a terrible name. Why is that game state? Game state. So we either have a status or a state. See, that's too much stuff. I don't like it. It's just All right, so I'm changing this. Forget this mess. I'm sorry. This is driving me bonkers. This is pretty significant, but screw it. I'm changing this to game session. It's not that many places actually. Simulator. I don't think there's anywhere where game session is actually in there. If we look at the whole word. Yeah, that's what I thought. And where are we? We're in simulator, but I probably should take a look to make sure we're looking at the whole system here.
I'm going to play Magic, and then after that we're going to the airport. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you got all your stuff packed?
Yep, we have everything packed. I mean, we don't take off till 11:50 p.m.
So you're just gonna go with your friends
We're
and
going
hang
to
out?
play some Magic, and then we're gonna drive back. His brother's gonna drive us to the light round, or the light round to see that.
All right. Do you have a card and everything set to go?
The card? Yeah, I have my credit card now.
So you'll be able to get to whatever you need to, get to money. Do you have? Did you ever get a Venmo debit card?
No, I never did that yet.
You should reach out to them and get one. I mean, just for having one, because it is nice when you have money on Venmo. You can, somebody Venmos you, you can just spend it right off of Venmo rather than having to transfer to your account. But all right, son. Well, have fun.
Alright.
Be safe.
Yep.
And
I'll be back like Sunday morning or Sunday morning.
keep us posted. I mean, when you get places and you land and take off.
Yeah.
Sure, son. All right, I gotta step away for a bit. I'm gonna take a quick break.